Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. I'm Van, and we are all the LFR family. Thank y'all so much for clicking play and for purchasing hats, man. We have been selling a lot of hats, and the hoodies are now starting to be sold as well. I appreciate y'all. It is hoodie season, and we have beanies now. When you get a moment, just go check out hatsforsale.com. and put in LFR 10 if you decide to purchase something. Get yourself 10% off and free shipping anywhere in America. Now we got some Jesse Lee Peterson talking to the head of NAACP. Now this should be a good one. They're talking about alt-right, KKK, police shootings, Trump versus illegals. They talking about everything. This is episode 6. Wow. Sheesh. All right, so way back when he first started doing interviews. All right, so he has a way with his people that he's talking to where they always end up getting pissed off, and he never raises his voice or anything. So he's kind of masterful with that. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. The Black Lives Matter movement is major here in the Los Angeles area. I have with me Paulette Simpson Gibson. She is president of the NAACP Compton, California chapter. And Paulette, I appreciate you coming.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You are a minister too. Are you a reverend or a preacher? Or?
I'm a preacher.
Preacher.
I'm an associate minister at Greater Faith Missionary Baptist Church.
Hallelujah.
And National Association
for the advancement of colored people.
You black and you don't know?
No.
National.
She said, you black and you don't know? It's National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. We had to learn that every February.
Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Colored people, yeah.
We're going to pull your card.
Ding,
I know.
ding, ding, ding.
You probably won't find mine there.
Oh,
but let me
Lord.
ask, do black people need the NAACP now?
I think it's more relevant now than before.
And why?
Because with all the race issues, the KKK hasn't left. They just changed their robes. They went from white robes to black robes, and they're now judges and policemen.
And so what is the NAACP doing to stop the KKK and stuff like that? What are they doing to stop it?
So part of what we do is, in Compton, you know, the race relations with the law enforcement is not a good one. It should be better because we have mostly African-American elected officials, but the police and law enforcement does not look like the community.
But the problem in Compton is more with the blacks and Mexicans than it is with police.
Not really.
They hate each other over there.
Well, they hate each other. They're a product of their community. They've been taught that.
Who taught the blacks and Mexicans to hate one another?
Systematic racism. It's by design. They both have the same economic property. They have the same issues and problems. But if you have issues, for instance, if you have black gangs and Latino gangs, some of the issues with law enforcement is that they're gang members too. They just wear uniforms. But some of the law enforcement put the gangs against each other. They may take you from one set and put you in another one.
So
or they do things that make you think that another set is doing it when they're not.
So she pretty much saying, so if the police mind their business, these gangs will be able to do gang activity in peace, and they wouldn't mess with one another, and their communities will be okay. But it's the police fault that the gangs aren't able to govern their gangdom in peace. Maybe they should just leave them alone. Okay, so far, young lady, I'm not pleased, but we have a lot of time. Let's continue.
You saying that white people are causing blacks and Mexicans to hate each other in Compton?
White people, and I'm not necessarily saying white people, I'm saying it's not necessarily them. The system itself.
Who is the system?
Well, it comes from white people, from the system, the government itself. I'm saying it's like they inherited stuff. For instance, if you don't, the educational system in Compton, if you don't teach your children how to work to get along, they're separating everything they do. They don't learn each other's culture. Once they're taught to understand each other and their differences and accept them, they won't tend to hate each other.
Who should teach them to treat the fellow man in the right way? The system or the parents?
I think it should come from home, but I think...
Thank you. Please don't skip over that, ma'am. Minister Paulette Simpson Gibson. Please don't skip over that. I think it should come from home too. 1,000%. Okay, now commence with the rest of what you was about to say.
You can only teach what you know.
Who is the system?
The system is, we say white people, but they're not necessarily in charge. Even black people, they have an ideology that they're not black. There's some black people that don't like to be around black people, or there are some black people that think they've arrived and don't think racism exists. They're part of the problem too.
What's a quote unquote African American thinking? What kind of thinking is that?
For me, as a
Great question. That was an excellent, brother. That was an excellent question. All right. Okay. I'm not expecting to receive an excellent answer, but that was a great question, man.
African American.
No, well, you said that those blacks who don't think like that.
Well, because some people think that black people should be a certain way, right? Some black people think, because I made it out, I don't want to come back to Compton. I want to live in Beverly Hills or another environment, but they think that I don't really like how black people live. They think, to me, you make your environment. I have black young ladies. My oldest daughter is a school teacher in Compton, but she also studied abroad in South Africa. She studied abroad in London. She graduated with honors from Clark University, born and raised in the inner city. But like you said, from her home, we taught her self-respect, self-love.
Right.
But when she go to school, when other kids don't have.
Thank you. You guys taught her. Your household taught her. So that's a beautiful thing. So now wherever she goes, she takes that with her.
Have the same teaching that she do, she still have to live with those kids.
Is
She still grew up in the same system.
Is she afraid for her life?
You know what? That particular daughter might be. Her way of thinking is maybe she's a little more sheltered. Now I have another daughter just the opposite of her. She went to Compton High School, grew up in Compton, so she can hang with Compton,
So
but they could go to school in Torrance.
She's more of a gangster.
Yeah, she more of a.
And then
she
the
can
other
hang out.
girl is more of a white woman.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, because she went to school
Wow.
in Torrance with the white kids. So
See there?
yeah.
Wow.
I want to go back to something. Did you know that the
Wow.
Mexicans in Mexico hate black people in Mexico? And that wasn't the system teaching them that. They hate them, so when they come here, a lot of them are gang members that are coming across the borders, and they're supported by the gang lords to keep the butt of black people and black gang members and stuff like that. Did you know that?
No, but that makes sense now that you say that, because but that hatred comes from somewhere. It's like if you put little kids
But it
together.
didn't come from the system in America. It came from there, from Mexico.
Well, what about the Mexicans that are born here? They still hate.
They hate.
You are really trying, she's really trying to put the hatred onto this country right here, which she won't ever consider leaving and going anywhere else. Like, this is where she's going to be. And she's just going to continue to try to bring the hate here. Like, they learned it when they got here. We're not talking about when they was in their other countries. We're talking about when they got here. We believe that because of the system, brother, since you don't think like an African-American brother, they was taught hate while they was here, brother.
Hate black people.
But then black people hate each other. White people hate. So hate is just something that's been taught. But it doesn't matter really what country it is.
Who's teaching the hatred?
People that hate.
Like who? Is the parents teaching them that, or other black people teaching black people?
I think parents teach hate.
Oh, so it's not the white man then.
Because but my parents didn't teach me to think the way I do.
They didn't teach you to hate.
No, my parents think I'm kind of a rebel.
Right.
They think that I'm like Afrocentric, like I'm like Black Panther. They didn't teach me that because my parents are just the opposite of that.
Right, so-
They're like, can we all just get along?
Right. So why did you become so radical and you had a good father and mother teaching you the right way? What happened to you?
Because that wasn't the right way. That was the submissive wrong way.
Wow, telling your parents that was the wrong way to teach me. Okay, that was the wrong way to raise me. All right, sounds good to me. All right.
To accept whatever. The right way is to be able to stand up for yourself and fight injustices and don't be a coward.
Did your parents teach you not to speak up?
Well, they wouldn't do what I do. They wouldn't speak up. They just take it.
But they didn't teach you not to speak up, right?
Like if I was in school and I didn't think things was right, I would say something about it. And my mom would be like, well, it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It's like, no, it won't be okay until we make it okay. If it's wrong, we have to address it.
But it's only getting worse with you speaking up rather than getting better. You notice that?
It depends on what perspective you're looking at, if it's worse or not.
You said that the injustice is still there. Blacks are going to jail.
Well,
the
because
Mexicans and
we're
blacks
not-
are hating one another.
Right. So you're
She's not accepting any responsibility so far. Jesse, you're laying it down like very nicely for her, but she wants to run away from it. She's not accountable for anything at this point, nor does she want to be. She don't want to be held accountable for anything. She want to blame. But let's continue. I'll talk more later.
perspective is if it's getting worse, it's getting worse because the people are still in control that is doing what they do.
People.
For instance,
Okay.
in our community, with home loans and things, mortgages and predatory lenders, they're in our community more so than any other community. There are things that are allowed to happen in our community that wouldn't happen anywhere else. Law enforcement in our community, and I think it's a shame that the things that you see, human trafficking, prostitution on the street, you don't see that things in other community, and it's not because we don't have any different law enforcement. Is it because law enforcement don't care in the Compton community and they may care in Beverly Hills or anywhere else?
That's because you people are allowing them to be that way. You're allowing
Who
that
is
to
your
happen.
people?
The blacks and Mexicans that live over there.
So what they supposed to do about it?
Vote. Stop making excuses. Lead by example. Stop supporting things that are detrimental to your environment. That has something to do with personal health, physical, mental, spiritual, all of that. What we allow to entertain us and spend our dollars on, all of that. Just personal accountability. And I mean, that will be the beginning of something great, especially if everyone adopted that same mentality. But if you're telling them that, no, young man, you're out there with a gun in your hand and drugs in your pocket and killing one another, not because you have gone astray, but because the government and the system and this country has done this to you. And I'm going to fight for you. Just be careful out there. Try not to get killed and try to watch out for the police. And if they ever catch you, you come over here, dump your gun and your drugs over here, keep running. I'm going to tell them I don't know you. I'm going to look out for you. Come on, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. That's where it is right now. Like, I'm going to pray for you. And then blame everyone else.
Get out and protest it and stop it. Be decent people and stop it. They're only doing it because the people are corrupt.
That's exactly right. And they're only doing it because they're allowed to do it. So who's corrupt? Our leaders are corrupt that work with them. Either they're corrupt or they're afraid.
Right. The
Law
leaders are
enforcement is
You're
a
one of the
tough
leaders.
gangsters.
Right, but they don't have to be if the citizenry were tough. But they're not tough.
You're one
They're
of the
immoral.
leaders,
They're morally
Minister.
bankrupt. So if the people are corrupt, then the government will be corrupt.
Well, if the government is corrupt and the people are scared or weak, a lot of them don't know what to do. A lot of them, like our elders, believe that you should respect, and they were taught to respect law enforcement no matter what. But you can cooperate with the police, do whatever you're supposed to do with the police, and you could still wind up in jail or dead.
Right, but if you were decent people over there, you would hold press conferences. You would get the attention of the media, so the media can get the attention of the public, and something will be done.
Well, I guess I'm really a decent person because I hold press conferences all
Yeah.
the time. But just like I hold a press conference, the media may come and media may not come.
Right.
Depends on what they think is important or not. So some things that the media perception makes a big difference too. So you can have, like just what happened. We had a young man get killed on 108th and Western. You see the different perspective. I had a gang member got killed in Compton. You see a different perspective. The media don't come out, but if the police get killed, they come out. Even if that police is corrupt, dirty, or whatever, then they holler, oh, blue lives matter. Yeah, blue lives do matter. All lives matter. But some lives are taken at an alarming rate and not considered at all.
Now, you saw the inconsistencies there. She just now mentioned all the different people. When one person dies, if one person get killed, is addressed a certain type of way. As if another person get killed, like a gang member was to get killed, the media won't show up. But if a police was to get killed, then it's Blue Lives Matter and everyone's all over the place. That's the same thing that Black Lives Matter does. Like whenever any black person, convict or not, was to get killed. No, not convict. I mean, well, only if they're killed by the police. The only time Black Lives Matter make any noise about black deaths is if that black death was taken, if that black life was taken by a police. That's it. If it's taken by, just like you just now said, if a gang member was to get killed, the media don't even show up. Yeah, and neither does Black Lives Matter if it was another black person that shot him. If I'm not, I mean, seriously, that's what's happening. So you can't be a hypocrite. You gotta be both ways. Seriously, okay, I'm gonna let them continue.
Black Lives Matter, is that a good organization or evil?
Well, I don't think it's an evil organization. I think it's a necessary
Is
organization.
it good?
I think it's good. I'm not declaring that people should go around killing police, and I'm not declaring that,
But
thinking
that's
that we
what
should
they are.
declare. All of them don't think that way.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
They don't denounce
Every
it.
black man.
They don't
Well,
denounce it. So they're going along. They think that way because if they didn't think that way and agree with it, they would denounce it.
And she wouldn't have mentioned it if it wasn't even a part of what they taught and what they thought. Because even she said, I'm like, my parents think that, my family members think that I'm like Black Panther-ish and all that other stuff. So she knows what's going on. She knows what they speak about and what they meet about and what they understand. She gets it 1000%. She brought that up, not Jesse Lee Peterson.
So all of them believe the same thing. Do you support what do we want, dead cops, when do we want it, now, pigs in the blanket, frying like bacon? You're the president of the NAACP. Do you support that?
No, I do not.
Did you go out and denounce it?
No, I didn't.
Do you support it?
No, I don't.
Yes, you did.
And I
Why
just
didn't
think
you
they said it,
denounce
but that's
Why
another
didn't you
group that
denounce
said
it?
it. That's not all
Why
of them.
didn't you denounce it?
Because this is the first time somebody asked me. I do not agree with that.
Wh-
But just
why
like
did
I
you
don't
denounce
agree
it?
with them killing police, I do not agree with police killing
But
unarmed
why
men
did
either.
you denounce Black Lives Matter?
Because they don't all think like that.
They do think like that.
No, they don't.
Why did they denounce it then? They do agree
Now,
with
I
it.
don't know why they do what they
You're
do.
not telling me
but
why you didn't hold a press conference and say Black Lives Matter are wrong for calling for the death of police officers. Why do you denounce
Because
it?
I just saw that today when I looked it up about them saying that, making that statement.
This is the
But
first time you heard of it.
that statement in particular.
This just goes to show how little I pay attention to politics and a whole bunch of issues that happen around the country, actually, and is presented on the news. My head has been down, and I had my blinders have been on for such a long time, y'all. I didn't even know that Black Lives Matter was making this much noise back in 2016. This interview happened in 2016, November 23rd, 2016 is when this interview happened. I think I heard about Black Lives Matter about a couple of years ago. No bull. When I finally started paying attention, and that's it. I just started paying attention here and there because I was focusing on other stuff, man. Like, it's wow. I feel so daggone idiotic, bro. I feel so idiotic right now.
Because there are Black Lives Matter in several different cities,
And they
right?
all have the same mentality.
Well, maybe not.
No, they do.
Because if you are an individual that go to a Black Lives Matter, I've been at rallies for NAACP where other groups have come. Black Lives Matter, New Black Panthers, the SCLC, different groups have came together
All those
for different
radicals.
issues. All of them are not radicals.
Yes, they are.
The NAACP is not radical.
Yes, it is.
Because you stand up for yourself does not make you a radical.
But they're standing up
so
for
if you
the
don't
wrong
stand up for
thing.
yourself,
They're standing up for the wrong things.
no, they're not standing up for the wrong thing. They're standing up for systematic racism. They stand inequality, injustice in their community,
doesn't even
lack of
exist.
jobs in their community, lack of government treating them correctly. They're not.
That doesn't
Police
exist.
brutality, racism, racial profiling. They're standing up for issues that's real
But
in their
no,
community.
those are illusions. Those are illusions. That doesn't
A dead kid in the street shot in the back and handcuffed is not an illusion.
Ain't no, that's not racism, though.
But they're not killing white people like
That's
that.
not racism.
What is it?
I want to say they are, but I'm not. Y'all know the answer to that, but I'm not even going to touch that. Because a lot of times when we're so busy paying attention to what all of the woes that we have, we don't see the woes of other people. That's like, y'all see these lines on your hands, right? If you were to put your hands really close up to your face, you don't see the lines. They're all blurred. And that's how a lot of people see the rest of the world's issues. They only see their stuff. They got their eyes closed. I mean, when you pull them apart, oh man. See, that's what's happening live while I'm doing these videos, my hands are going like this. I'm starting to see the lines. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing the lines. It look like an M. Broken is broken. Okay, it's not fully connected, but this hand, I mean, it's different. I'm like, the further I pull them away from my face, the more I learn, and the more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. These people right here, they just stop learning. They just focus only on one or two issues, one or two people, and that's it. And they have endless meetings about the same gripes, the same complaints, the same gripes, the same complaints. They're not learning. They're spinning around. They're going in a circle. They're going in a circle. They're becoming far more knowledgeable about what goes on in their circle and their circle only. They don't see nor hear anything else that goes on outside of that. I've been there before. I have been there before. Okay. And this is me trying to learn while in the presence of an audience. I believe that it will serve her well, and people with the same thought processes as her to follow the same, not the same, but go on her own journey to try to figure out what else is happening outside of her little square that she decides to dance in, the little square dance.
It's evil. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
Well,
it's
America's
either wrong,
just evil then. I
it's
agree
either
with you.
wrong or right. And then most of these people who are being killed or arrested by the police are thugs. They're not decent people.
Just because they choose to be a different lifestyle, they might be decent people. They're not
You
all of
can't
them
be
that they killed.
a thug is not a decent person.
Not everybody they killed are thugs.
But they either resisted arrest or giving the cops problem, putting the cops on the edge. The officer needs to
Well,
protect
what about bad
himself.
cops?
We
Are they
should-
thugs?
If they're bad, they're thugs.
Well, you got a bunch of them
But
that's
most
bad.
of the blacks who have been hurt or arrested are thugs.
No.
Hell yeah. If a cop is bad, then you definitely are the noble. There are bad cops. There's every single profession you can think of right now. There's somebody who's half-assing it. There's somebody who's pussyfooting. Even the millionaires will tell you, like, because I listen to a lot of motivational information and people give me business information, and they'll let you know that out of every business, every industry, there's only like 10% of the people in those industries that's pulling the weight. The other people are barely doing it, half-assing it, or not doing anything at all and just coming there for a paycheck, doing the bare minimum, and don't really take things as seriously as everyone else. And as though they don't take things as seriously as those who take things seriously at the job. As a matter of fact, they look at those who take things too seriously as a company man, as a bootlicker, as somebody to watch. We can't trust him because he take his job too seriously or something like that. And so that's every industry. Police enforcement included. All right? It's not about what they're doing on camera and all those things. What are you doing when no one's watching you? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of your family? What's important to you? Are you being integral? Like, it's crazy. Okay.
You
A
agree,
lot of the
right?
cops that shoot people without cause
No.
are thugs
Come
and
back.
gangbangers that are police officers that are gang members.
Come back to me.
He said,
The
"Come
ones
back
who have
to
been,
me."
the blacks who have been arrested
Come back to
and
me.
or killed are thugs.
Every last one of them.
I don't know of any decent one that's been killed or arrested. They were either resisting arrest or giving lip service or doing criminal records on their own. You can't name one decent black that was killed or arrested by a police officer.
I don't know all of their records. I just
Right.
know the media tell us. As
And
soon
so
as
do
they
you
kill
Wow, NAACP Minister Paulette Simpson Gibson, and that's her name. She's hyphenated Simpson Gibson. That was your opportunity. That was your opportunity. He said you can't name one. If you would have named one and explained it thoroughly to him, I would have given you the W. I would have been like, look, you win. You win. You came to play. But you didn't. You still want to just play the game. That's what you want to do. You're not trying to learn anything, nor have you learned much about what you're even there to fuss about. This is you presenting the argument that there are innocent people being killed by the police. When he asks you that, this is your opportunity to present those names, those people, so that your argument can come out truthfully. And he will have no choice but to bow down to you and the knowledge you're giving him.
A
Believe the
black
media?
person, I don't believe the media and I don't believe the police. As soon as they kill a black person, they're gonna say, oh, they had drugs in their system. Now they're gonna say they had a gun on them or in their car. They haven't even
And
checked
most
the
of
car.
the time they do.
If they plant it,
What?
yes.
If they plant it?
Yeah, are you one of the black people that think that they don't plant guns and they don't plant drugs? Do you think like that?
I mean, anything is possible, but for the most part, that's not happening.
Oh, you don't think?
Right.
If it happened one time, it's too many.
Am I white or black, since I don't think that way?
I think you in between right now. You an Oreo.
I'm an Oreo.
She called that man an Oreo because he's...
You might be in between right now. What you think? No, you black. Okay,
I'm black on the outside, but white on the inside.
that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Where you from? That might happen.
Alabama.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, what?
you've been taught that.
Taught what?
Obey,
Obey what?
obey the white man.
Obey the white man. No one taught me that.
Oh, they didn't teach you that?
I've never been
They
taught
should
that.
have.
Why?
Because it's good to obey the white man.
I'm sorry?
It's good to obey the white man. Then you won't get in trouble. Then you won't get shot. You won't be labeled a thug. You're gonna when the officer come to you, you're gonna say yes, sir, yes, master.
Massa. You're not supposed to say yes, massa. Yes, massa. Yes, massa. But treating somebody with respect who in any situation, especially if they are a person of authority, you treat them with respect. Period. Yes, sir. Yes, massa. No, you don't gotta do the yes, sir. Yeah, that helps. That helps. I teach my children to yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, to any adult. Any adult. And if they're inside of a business environment, or they're speaking to somebody who has some authority whatsoever, wherever they are, yes, with respect. You mean to tell me that I'm an Oreo for teaching them that? Nah, not at all. My kids can get rough and rude and raw if they want to. They got a father and a mother who's from bad parts of the city, bad parts of DC. So we know how to do that. We know how to do both. But obviously, you also do that. You're just not, you only give the yes, sir, no, sir to black people is what you're saying? I don't get that. And you do know there's a whole bunch of black cops. You do know that too, right? I don't understand this right here, man.
Or will you say, why did you stop me? Is it okay to question them?
Yes.
It is
but
okay.
you can say, why did you stop me? But do not give attitude. Follow the instructions of the police officer, and you can walk away.
And that's a good thing. And
But the
and
blacks
nothing
are
will
not
happen to you
doing
if
that.
you do that. Nothing will happen, right?
Right.
Okay,
Do
I
you
want to
agree
ask
with
Sandra
that?
Bland.
What?
I want to ask Sandra Bland what happened.
Sandra Bland?
I wanna
She
ask you what
acted
happened.
out.
Because
She wouldn't
questioned them?
follow instructions. She would give lip service. She
Because
didn't
she
want
asked
her hand
questions?
to. She didn't want to be arrested.
Well,
And
she didn't do anything wrong.
She committed suicide. The officer did not kill her. She had already tried, according to all the reports, she had tried to commit suicide prior to going to jail. And once she went to jail, nobody came to get her. She called her folks. Nobody showed up. She ended up, and there was a witness who said she committed suicide. You don't believe that?
No, I don't believe that.
Nah, she don't believe it at all. As a matter of fact, I knew she didn't about it when he first said that. And unfortunately, I'm not the person who knows a great deal about that in order to speak on it. Why? Because I literally put on blinders and paid attention to what was important in my own immediate community and household. And then at that point, at that time, I believe I was a minister in training. So what I was paying attention to was the souls and the job at hand. That's what I was paying attention to. Everything that was going on in the news. When I tell people that, they think that I'm lying or something. They think that I'm playing. I'm dead serious, because the world is like, what goes on in the world is very serious. And sometimes if we drop the ball in our own household, everything can go astray. We need to pay attention. You can't clean up anything outside of your house. Well, what's the use of me going outside and sweeping up my porch if the inside of my house is a complete mess? And that's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of people they stay in the business of everything else but their own, and then wonder why things aren't turning around for them. They wonder why things aren't turning around for a group of people as a whole. And that's sad. That's extremely unfortunate. But people will be like, see, brother, you ignoring what's going on in the world, and that's why you don't know. Huh? That's why you not woke. You need to wake up. And I will say to them, yeah, I'm waking up. Now I hope you wake up as well, because there's information that we both need to learn and pay attention to and discuss. And that's the only way things will get fixed. Not by accusing this person of that thing and this person of that thing, without first acknowledging our roles.
So you just don't want to believe the truth.
That's the truth.
You'd rather believe a lie over the truth, right?
I don't know that's the truth. I'd rather believe that she did not kill herself. I believe she was
Why would
killed.
you rather believe a lie?
I don't think that's a lie.
No, it is.
No, I don't think that's a lie.
Let me ask you this.
Well,
Now,
so the Ezel Ford killed himself?
all those people thugs.
Just because they're a thug, they don't deserve to be killed.
Thugs put themselves up to be killed. That's why they call
then how
thugs.
come-
Aren't you concerned that, or are you concerned that this is not happening to decent black people? It's only happening to the bad ones. Have you ever wondered about that?
Bad ones. You have decent black men that police will target and racial profile, come to your own house. It depends on what neighborhood you live in. They may stop you, they may question you, wondering why you're in the neighborhood. That just happened in Chicago.
They
You have to
thought
look
they were
that
at
up.
the wrong house, or they're looking out for their neighborhood.
Is that what they were doing?
Isn't that the right thing to do?
No. You should know your neighbors.
You should
Don't
look
be
out for
afraid
your
of them.
neighborhood.
You should know your neighbors are. If the black neighbor lived next to you, could
But
be
you
different,
don't know
should
everybody that's coming in and out of your
Well,
neighborhood.
then you just don't call the police and say, there's a black man with a key going into his own house.
But why not?
Because mind your business.
Wow. So you don't look out for your
Cause mind your business.
neighborhood?
I know my neighbors. I wouldn't think it was strange for somebody to come. I know my neighbors. Police brutality is real.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is
It's
real.
an illusion.
No,
It
it's
is
not an
not
illusion.
real. It is not real. I promise you that.
And I promise you, it is real.
So you are the president of the NAACP, right?
Yes.
In Compton.
Yes.
And you're a minister.
Yes.
Are you a woman of truth?
Yes.
And how do you know you're of truth?
The word of God is the only truth that we have. But man is a human man on all sides and subject to sin, subject to hate, subject to lie.
So you think that you are a woman of truth because you know how to quote the Bible?
No, I don't think I'm an honest woman because it's a lifestyle. Now, I ain't said I don't lie. Everybody
You lie?
including you.
Do you lie?
Sometimes.
You lying now?
Not right now. Maybe tomorrow, but not right now. Try me tomorrow, though.
Why she lie? Why do you lie? What's the purpose of you lying? I would love to know that. Like, in what situation in your life are you lying? Like, seriously, I really would love to know that. That right there will be a good question.
So if you are a liar, how are you an honest woman? And a preacher woman?
Because God is so good, he even saved a wretch like me.
But God said don't lie.
Yeah, all the time.
No, he didn't say all the time. He said don't lie.
Oh, but sometimes you can lie.
No,
Because he didn't say
period.
all the time. He said
No,
sometimes.
all the time. Don't lie
But he
means
said
don't ever
nobody's
lie.
perfect but him.
No. Stay with me. God said don't lie.
Uh-huh.
And if you say you're a preacher and you're an honest woman, why do you lie?
Because sometimes I lie when I need to, but maybe
When
that's
do you
not
need-
right. And I just say, you know what, God is so faithful to forgive. So when I lie, I say, Lord, please forgive me. And he's like, faithful to forgive. Like when you lie.
So
he's
I don't
faithful
lie.
to forgive.
Wow.
You
I
lying
don't lie.
right now.
I lie when I need to, is what she says. Wow. Wow, minister. I lie when I need to. Wow.
When you tell me that
No.
the police only killed thugs, you know that's a lie, because they killed a 6-year-old in the car with his dad, shot the car up. That was a police officer. That 6-year-old was not a thug.
He was in the car with a thug daddy.
So that make it okay?
The daddy put the child's life at risk, not the police.
You almost sound worse than them fools that's killing the police. You talking about it's okay to kill that 6-year-old?
I didn't say it was okay.
Oh,
but
Nuh-uh, but here's the thing, lady, minister. If even in your Bible, there was whole nations of people who were slain because one man didn't follow the law of God. And if that one man was in charge of something, or charge of a community, or the head of that nation, or the head of a family, if he did something against God's will, God not only killed him, God took out everybody in the entire family, and even more. Sometimes he wiped out everybody in like whole areas because of one person's sin. Now you can say, but does that make it right? Yeah, that was God that did that, and He did it for a reason, because a lot of the things that we do affect more people than just ourselves. Even if that 6-year-old, and bless that 6-year-old, bless that 6-year-old soul, right? Even if that 6-year-old was in the house with their mom playing, and only the dad was to die, the 6-year-old would have been extremely negatively affected in the same way. And that's the reason why a lot of people in these Black communities are how they are, because the father's done something and aren't around, or the fathers just decided not to be around, and it affected everyone. And because they decided not to be around, sometimes people died, and sometimes it was at the hands of the children who were left by their fathers and mothers. Sometimes it was at the hands of the children who were left by their mothers, by their parents. It does not only affect the person who commit the sin. It don't. But we play so much with God that we like, well, I can lie sometimes. He saved even a wretch like me. He told me that if I lie, just come to him and ask for forgiveness. And I'm teaching people that because I'm a minister. Who in the world are you teaching this to? What's their incentive in following God in the first place, if they're not even going to try, because they know that God saved a wretch like them? That's why it's a fad nowadays for people to be gay. That can cancel me. Oh my gracious, Van, why you say that? I firmly believe that. It's a fad to the point where there are gay preachers, gay pastors. Now, the difference is between sin and lifestyle is the sin is an act, something that you can ask for forgiveness for and try not to commit again. A lifestyle is a decision that you made to continue doing, regardless if it's good or bad. And a lot of people have made their sin into a lifestyle and has told and are telling God that this is who I am, this is who I was supposed to be, and you know my heart, and I'm going to continue to love you, Lord, and I'm going to continue to teach your will, Father, but I'm not changing. I'm going to be who I am no matter what. And that's dangerous, man, because you're sitting here in front of Jesse Lee Peterson and you're speaking that type of rhetoric.
It's not the police fault that the father put the child's life at risk knowing that he was a thug.
It's the police fault that you didn't check and see you shooting a kid and shooting the dad.
He's not supposed to check that. The police officers are to protect the good people from the bad.
So you didn't
They're
protect that baby.
They're not psychologists and
They need to be.
And so, no, they don't.
They got to be trained a little bit different.
No.
Because well, let me just explain this to me then. How can they? Why are they killing all the black thugs, but you ain't killing the white thugs? You get white men shooting up the police, and they carrying them out. Go get the gun and handcuff them and walk them on out.
Yeah, that's the media. That's what the media is showing you. But trust me, there are white men being killed by police as well. There are. You're just not looking, and you're believing the first thing that's told to you, and that's unfortunate.
Well,
Probably taking to McDonald's to have a burger on the way.
There are more white people being killed by police than blacks.
She's not
And
believing
the
that.
only difference is the media, to keep people like you angry and confused, they're showing the blacks all the time
Oh,
to
the
keep
media?
you brain.
Not only the media that you watch, because you don't watch anything but the media that supports you, the media that talks bad about the other side. That's the only media you watch. And that media benefits off the anger and the pain of certain communities. And because they benefit off of the anger and pain of certain communities, they're going to feed you exactly what they need to feed you in order for you to continue to support them. That's how that works. Because if you continue to support them, then you also will support the politicians that they funnel your way as the positive ones who also have your interests in mind and heart. And that's how that works. But since you don't watch anything else but what supports you, you don't hang around anybody but those people who fake like they love you and like you, you're not going to get any more information. You're going to continue to be lied to, and you're going to continue to believe the hype. You're going to continue to go to these meetings of like minds, and you're going to continue to share the same blame of every single thing that your friends and cohorts share because you're being misled and you're cool with it. You're not going to know until you step outside of that little box of yours.
The media,
Yeah,
the
online,
media
these cell
misconstrue stuff.
phones, yeah, the media.
The
They're
media?
using you.
Your show don't do that. It's a good show, right? It don't do that.
Don't do what?
Misconstrue and change the
No, we
facts.
tell the
and-
truth here.
And you always tell the truth,
Yes.
and you don't mess up the facts.
Right, not at all. Because I want black people to see reality so that they can be free.
And what's the reality?
I got to ask you that black people are suffering not because this phony idea of police brutality, but due to the lack of moral character and the destruction of the family.
I like the way he said that. Listen, guys, we didn't hit 40 minutes already, so we're going to do a part 2 of this. Hopefully you're here with me for part 2. I really enjoyed this back and forth, and I'll make sure that that we have some clear understanding of what's going on both sides. I like also the fact that she brought it to him and said, so you mean to tell me that because you will be media, do you only feed one side too? Or are you as equal, as fair as you claim the media should be? I like that she hit him with that, because now he can discuss that even more. He can go into how he participates in this whole thing. This drink was dope. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know whatever you want me to know in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside of the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing per usual. Love y'all. Bye.